please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533. Or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Hey, hello. We're back. Tom Trento, Trento Vision. My vision of the world includes going to Israel in 9 months or so. We need to start counting down the days.
Trip watch.
You can be my guest in a trip to Israel. You want to spend 10 days with me? No, I don't know if people want to do that. It'd be fun. We party nicely and we're good. You just may have to put up with some cigar smoke once in a while. Maybe a couple of bottles of wine once in a while. Could we drink wine on the trip, Ron?
Absolutely.
Okay, sounding good. Do I have any cheese doodle things on my face? Anything? No,
you're good.
We eat our snacks during the short break so that we can have the energy to do the show because it takes much energy. And usually the energy is burnt up by the frustrating news articles we read. Just introduce that one, and we'll do it tomorrow. But listen to this, a local news item.
Local news item reported in the Miami Herald today. Judge throws out Taliban terror case against Margate Imam. A federal judge Thursday threw out the terrorism charges against a young Muslim cleric from Broward County in a trial where he and his father, a Miami imam, stood accused of providing financial support to the Pakistani Taliban terrorist organization.
All right, tomorrow we'll go.
The judge ordered an acquittal for the younger imam, not the older.
Yeah, we'll find out what that's all about.
Yeah.
We'll go through that tomorrow. Find out if it's a technicality. Oh, you didn't let him trim his beard properly, and now he has to go free. Or if he was improperly scooped up by the FBI. They don't usually make those mistakes nowadays. So I'm very curious as to what happened. But we don't want to take too much time with that. But I do want to tell you about Denver and the Mile High Orchestra. Our engineer, Joe, who is not here right now, he is involved with helping get Denver and the Mile High Orchestra, good group, gospel group, to Wellington. They're going to be at the Wellington, where are they going to be? Wellington Amphitheater in Wellington, Florida, about 20, 30 minutes north of here. For tickets or info, you can go to FBC, First Baptist Church, fbcwellington.com. It's February 9, Saturday evening, February 9, 7 o'clock. Denver and the Mile High Orchestra. It's kind of a play on words. Denver's kind of like the Brian Setzer and the, what's the name of his band? Brian Setzer?
And his orchestra.
Brian Setzer and his orchestra? No, Stray Cats, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stray Cats was in the 80s, but it's Brian Setzer.
Oh, Brian Setzer. Denver and the Mile High Orchestra reminds me of that kind of jazzy, but it's gospel music and other stuff. It's pretty cool. So if you want those tickets, go to fbcwellington.com. That's a little spot for Joe. Let's see what else we have to do here. Tom Trento. We're on Trento Vision. As you know, we do national security radio. We make life difficult for anyone, read that, President Obama, trying to hurt the United States Constitution in either, superseding or evading and avoiding the principles through these things called executive orders, EOs. So we beat the hell out of the Obama administration as they try to reconstitute America in the image of, socialist Greece or France. Though France is getting a little squirrely now, attacking Muslims in Mali, but letting the Muslim terrorists run Paris. So figure that out. And the Algerians just said, France, you want to mess around? The Algerian terrorists just kidnapped a bunch of people And as of right now, apparently the hostages have broken away or whatever. We'll get into the details of that tomorrow, because the jihadis have said France is now on their radar. They're going to go after Paris and all of this wonderful stuff. In addition to defending the U.S. Constitution of the United States of America, we defend the right of Israel. This is so nice of us.
Yeah.
We defend the right of Israel to defend itself.
Yeah,
okay?
That gets me every time.
We're convinced this administration is anti-Israel. How are we convinced? 3 days ago, the president said, Benjamin Netanyahu does not know what's even good for himself. So yesterday, Netanyahu said, in my words, go to hell, President Obama. And all the Jewish people who we debated here pre-November 6th, oh no, Obama is 100% for Chuck Hagel becoming the defense secretary. And what a mess. We'll get into some of that tomorrow. And the third thing we do here at Trento Vision, WNN 1470, Constitution, Obama, defending Israel. We work to defeat Sharia-compliant Islam. Any way, any shape, any form, ain't for America, isn't compatible with us. We will fight Sharia-compliant Muslims and ideology all over the place. Can't do it here. Go to one of your 56 countries. Play around there and mess things up. If you want to be a Muslim that assimilates, as my immigrant relatives did and everyone else's, into the contract called the Constitution, we're welcome, we'll stand with you. But you can't play games that way. It's not acceptable, okay? That's what we do here. But right now, we're putting some real-world action to our geopolitical and our theoretical work on the radio show. We is going to Israel. And we have limited seats. We have about 80 seats, 80. How much money? $5,000-6,000 usually for something like this?
Well, it's I believe now from memory it's about $2,600 plus the airfare, so it's about $3,700.
So $3,700. You need a few shekels to shekelate around Israel and buy a few things.
In the cost of the trip, we include all the meals and hotels, all the tours, sightseeing. So really, spending money in Israel is not major. Everything is taken care of. Everything, I mean, your meal, if you want to buy diamonds to bring back home, that's a different story. But the trip is pretty much paid up if you come up with the $3,700.
So $3,700, that's not bad.
For 10 days?
Yeah, for like 10 days.
And also the land portion, and that's when people go on the website, they'll find out that the way to register will be to buy the land portion, meaning not the flight. Why? Because many people have points, many people have mileage, many people can get the flight better than buying it from a travel agency. So we allow people to buy the land portion and then to go for the air by themselves.
Very cool. Mark?
You don't serve fish for breakfast every morning, do you?
I'm sorry?
You don't serve fish for breakfast every morning, do you?
Well,
what's wrong with that?
There's a man that's been to Israel, obviously. We have a buffet. Usually in the hotels in Israel, we have a buffet of about 80, 90 different dishes, and some of them are smoked fish and things of this nature. So those who are not Jewish, those who are do not understand what a good breakfast is, make fun of that. And there's one of them here. He just doesn't know.
He's a redneck from Alabama.
I want some bacon and ham and all that good
There
stuff.
There you go.
My family's from Sicily, which is an island. You can serve all the fish you want, okay?
Right.
That's fine. So $3,700. You gotta need another $1,000 in your pocket to play around. $4,700. Guess what? It's tax time. Yeah, for wine and cigars. It's tax time. People are going to get tax returns. So let's do a little bit of math. If you need $5,000, let's just use that figure. Though you can do it for less, but if you need $5,000, how much per month, Mark? You graduated from college. We have February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 8 months.
8 months. $750 a month.
That's just about right. You got to come up with something. Where am I going to get that from? Where can people get the money from?
Well, I think when we see people come to Israel, often they say to me that they never thought they would be able to make it, and once they decide to go, all of a sudden provisions were there. I don't know how. I'm not going to bore you with miracles and fate analysis and all this. But when you decide to go, you go.
Well, I'll give you a faith story. We went last February, and 2 days before we left, we ran into Karen Vaughn, and who is the mother of SEAL Team 6 Navy Commander Aaron Vaughn, Commando, who was killed in Afghanistan. And we said, would you like to come to Israel? She said, I'd love to come. I don't have any money. I said, give it a shot. Put a note out to your friends telling them you're going with, Tom and the United West folks. And if you need to, they can make a donation to us, and then we'll cover it for you. She sent out a couple of letters, and in 2 days, all her friends said, we want you in Israel, and she came to Israel with us.
Tom, believe it or not, I hear thousands of same stories. And I've taken to Israel over 100,000 people over the last 30 years.
100,000 people?
Over 100,000 people.
Wow.
And among them, thousands and thousands had no idea how they're going to make it, but they made a decision. They went by faith. And the money was there. They came to Israel, and they came crying on my shoulders in Israel. Because what you learn in Israel, what you get in Israel, is something you cannot get in school. You cannot get in a synagogue or a church. You get something that is so valuable that all the investment you made is well worth it.
No. I could testify to that, having gone and waited so many years, 20, 25 years to go, that it was a life-changing experience. If I were able to, I would go back regularly, not just for the wonder of the land, but it is the center. It's the center of the world right now, the political world.
There's no question about it. And maybe we should add also that unlike any other tour that take people to Israel, as you said before, with the Baptist pastors,
right.
We do this worship here and pray here and there. Every night we're going to have a panel discussion with people from Israel who will explain what this is all about. For instance, among our speakers, we have Dr. Dor Gold.
Dor Gold?
Dor Gold is one of them.
He's 5-star guy. Okay,
right,
Dor Gold.
Right. He was the ambassador of the United Nations. Amos Yadlin is going to be with us, who is the head of the Knesset. And the Deputy Prime Minister Danny Ayalon
he's great,
is
sure.
going to be with us.
We met him here.
He's a personal friend of mine. We spent breakfast with him a couple weeks ago, I remember.
Breakfast? At Whatchko's house. Yep.
Ziegler, right.
Yeah.
Moshe Yalon will be with us. Mordecai Kedar, who's a professor at the University of Tel Aviv. He's an amazing man. He actually took Al Jazeera for a ride because it was one of our topics in Jerusalem. I was involved in it too, and it was the status of Jerusalem, or the importance of Jerusalem for Islam. And he got the Al Jazeera people asking him the questions.
He is great.
And he gave them answers back in Arabic.
Now, let me get this right. We're going to go on all these tours to see during the day all this amazing stuff.
Right.
Then we eat a feast.
Right.
And then you have a panel of Israeli experts.
Experts, together with our experts, together with you, together with Frank Gaffney and William Federer and William Murray and myself. We have panels every evening. So we get to listen to these people immediately after dinner. Then we have questions if we want. It's amazing. Right. What you get out of this is thousands and thousands of dollars worth of material.
It's like doing a master's program in 10 days.
And it's second to none. Now, during the day, also, we're not just going to see places, because we're going to do teachings on locations. We spoke just before the break about the Galilee. We're going to be in the Golan Heights. We'll understand what's the story.
Well, hang on. I want to go through the days, but I want to get everybody up to speed here. For those of you jumping in your cars right now, 20 minutes after 5 o'clock on the East Coast, driving from Miami to Orlando, whatever you're doing, you're listening to the radio, WNN 1470. That's a little button on the right-hand side. You got a nice clear signal. This is Tom Trento on Trento Vision. We usually deal with the jihadi issues, the Obama issues, the Israeli issues. Today, we're having a nice, fascinating little look into a trip that Ron Wexler, who is that camera right there, you can wave to that camera. There you go, I'll switch on. He has he started a new company yesterday. We're going to be the first group. Oh, wait, excuse me. Ronnie has taken in 30 years 100,000. That's almost all of Boca Raton, 100,000 people on tours to Israel over 30 years. He lives in Tel Aviv and Boca, and he has an academic background in Jewish studies and Christian studies, and he had to pick up arms in the 67 war, the Six-Day War, and the 73 Yom Kippur War, and defend his country. So he defended his country 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Ron, something like that, man, long time ago. And then he's helped build his country by bringing people back and forth and exposing them to the wonders of this unique oasis, this oasis of the West in the middle of a ring of Muslim Brotherhood fire right now. And if you're a Christian and you're a Zionist, you must, on your bucket list, you have to get to Israel. I went a year ago, and I would go every month if I could. You've got to get there. Well, $5,000. How do I get that? Just figure it out, okay? Write a note like our friend Karen did to friends and say, I want to go. Could you donate some money to me? And if people want you to go, if God wants you to go, he'll get you there. But you can start. You got 9 months to figure this out.
3,700 plus pocket money. Don't scare people with 5,000 because that sounds like that's such a big number. It sounds like you can't do it. So
Well, you're going to buy
3,700.
They're going to buy us
doable.
They're going to buy us some drinks, and they're going to buy us some cigars.
We'll tell them that after they buy the ticket that they need to come up with a little bit extra to pay for the wine and cigars. Okay,
3,700.
And that includes everything you eat. That's your hotel, your air, your tours, your everything. Food.
We just knocked a third off. Now it's really affordable. It was $5,000. Now it's $3,700.
Okay. I'm telling you some stuff.
Okay, here we go.
There's no money in there for taking CJ shopping or anything like that. That's extra.
You know what they could do too. You can go find out what friends of yours or relatives have a zillion air miles, and you go negotiate. You'll cut their grass for the next 6 months. They give you the miles so that you can get a free air ticket. Then we're really down to what's the 2,700 at that point?
2,700.
Yeah, it's about $1,000 to fly there. So this is cool stuff. Tom Trento, 23 minutes after 5 o'clock. If you'd like to speak with us or Ronnie, 888-565. 1470. 888-565-1470. If you want more information, Tom at trentovision.tv. Or what is your email, Ron?
H like Harry, SP 613 at AOL.com.
HSP 613 at AOL. You're an AOL guy.
613.
613.
Yeah.
HSP 613 at AOL.com.
I guess at AOL. You're an AOL guy. All right, now we're on day 3, Ron. We left. We're at Capernaum, and where are we going to next?
Well, as I just said, we're in Capernaum. We actually went already to the Mount of Beatitudes. We got an explanation about what this was all about in times of Jesus and the patriarchs. We went to the Jordan River. Our teachers, both William Federer and William Murray, are going to be there also to help. And we will climb to the Golan Heights. I think that at this point, this juncture of the trip, we will have a better understanding what the problem Israel faces from the north. And interestingly enough, the Bible always talked about the problem, the war coming from the north. And I think the north represents Syria, the Assyrians of the Bible, and also
Russia.
the Russians, right.
Yeah, we can't forget about those friendly
Right.
guys.
So we have a better understanding there. We will see the installations of the IDF. We'll see the Israeli fortification lines on the Golan Heights. We'll get to speak to some of the soldiers, some of the leaders there on location. I bet you that we will see some flags of Hezbollah in different places as we travel north to Metula, to the
What's that? Their yellow flag with the AK in it
right,
and all nonsense?
to northern border of Israel, right? And then we come down again to Tiberias, where we're going to stay overnight in on the Sea of Galilee, right at the shoreline, just on the beach there.
And what's the weather like in September, October?
Will be about 85 degrees throughout the time. 85 degrees.
85 degrees.
Yeah.
But a dry 85.
Dry 85 degrees, and it will be much cooler in the evening, to the point where in Jerusalem we'll need probably jackets, and sweaters in the evening. It will drop down to somewhere in the 50s, 60s.
Okay, cool.
Very, very cool.
Rain? Any rain that time of the year?
No,
rain.
no chance for rain. It's probably the best time of the year to travel because the summer is awfully hot, and the winter, as you probably saw the other week, was snowing in Jerusalem. So it is really the best time to go. So now we are back in the Sea of Galilee. We're going to be in Tiberias. We're going to spend some time there. Very interesting city, very beautiful place.
Tiberias?
Tiberias. We're going to even have a cruise on the Sea of Galilee. We'll have a fascinating visit to a place in a place called Gennesar, Gennesaret of the Bible.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And there's a boat that they pulled actually from the mud under the Sea of Galilee, and it's dated, carbon dated, 2,000 years old. So it's of the time of Jesus. Perhaps even
could be the boat.
the
Who knows?
disciples' boat. Who knows? But it's there, and it's had to be preserved in a tremendous effort. Because the moment you took it out of the water, it vaporized.
Yeah.
So you needed to protect it in.
Was it in a room or something? Where
It's now it's in a room in a museum in Gennesar, in Gennesaret, and it's amazing because there's a short movie, maybe 5 minutes, that shows you how they put it out. Because the moment you touch it, it fell apart.
2,000 years old.
And the nails are there. It's just incredible. Incredible. You really understand the Bible in a different way. You read the Bible. You never read the Bible the same. So now we're leaving Tiberias on the way south.
This is day
So
4 or
remember,
5?
We're now day 4. So remember, we started in Tel Aviv. We went to the Carmel Mountain. We went to Upper Galilee.
See if you find a map.
We went to Upper Galilee. We went down to Sea of Galilee. We visited the ministry of Jesus Christ and all the Jewish holy places in the Sea of Galilee. Now we're leaving Sea of Galilee west towards, again, the Valley of Armageddon to visit a city
You like
called,
getting us in that valley.
Yes,
what is
I
going
do,
on,
because
man?
that's going to be the salvation of Israel.
Amen.
Because what we have there is what you're going to see.
Okay.
And it's just amazing. Now we're going towards that part, but we visit on the way Cana of Galilee, which is the first place, first miracle of Jesus in Galilee.
Oh, Cana, okay.
Cana of Galilee.
The wedding at Cana,
turning the water to wine. Yeah. And then, of course, we're going to be in Nazareth.
You're going to do that? You're going to turn the water to wine?
Absolutely.
Right.
I do it every night.
More money saved.
More money saved. This thing's getting cheaper and cheaper by the minute.
Listen, by the time we finish this program, I'm paying you to go. So
we'll be paying you to come.
So we're going to be in Cana. We then go to Nazareth, and Nazareth we're going to be visiting
Jesus of Nazareth.
The places of the Bible. But also we will go. If you remember from the scriptures, when he was preaching in the church, in the synagogue, the Jews, the zealots, were trying to push him away and get him to the rock, and then push him, to destroy him. So this is a huge rock. And we're going to be
the actual
all the
rock.
way up
Oh, that's
there.
We're
We're going to be all the way.
You want to go?
That
sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
Can we push Tom off the rock?
We're going to be up there, and
I've resurrected.
you would be.
Yeah.
And the scenery from there is incredible. It's Mount Precipice, and it's the place where Jesus was going to be thrown away, and you can see forever. And again, you can see that airfield in the middle of the valley. From there, we're going to go to Jerusalem. So now although we're going from the north to the south, and really we're going downhill, we do not call it downhill because when you come to Jerusalem, you
weird.
climb to Jerusalem. So we're going up to Jerusalem. And when we arrive in Jerusalem, we're going to have a fascinating entrance because we're going to take the bus or the buses to the top of the Mount of Scopus, and we're going to break bread and have wine and do the blessings over the city of Jerusalem in the way of the old, in the way of the biblical way of coming into
like Passover.
Just like Passover.
Yeah, wow.
So we're going to experience
cool.
a beautiful entrance to the city of Jerusalem.
Oh, this is very cool.
And then come to our hotel. The hotel is again deluxe, like in all the other places. Deluxe hotel with all the amenities, with all that we need, and we're going to check in, get our rooms, and we're going down to dinner. Remember, every day after the day of touring, we have dinner at the hotel, and immediately after dinner, we're going to have a panel discussion with our group. We even have a group, my own ministry in Jerusalem, that will sing, and we can even dance the hora, and it's going to be a party every night. But more importantly, it will be a learning experience because we're going to experience some of the best speakers and the best teachers in Israel and the United States who are coming with us, and that's going to take place every night. In Jerusalem, we divide the days in a way that makes more sense to me, so we can actually take in as much as we can, because we can be in Jerusalem for 2 months and not see it all. And the way to do it would be to see parts of Jerusalem that make sense for us to see in a sequence that at the end will all connect. So, for instance, the way for me to show you Jerusalem will be to take you first to East Jerusalem, to the old part of Jerusalem, including the Temple Mount. We will be at the Temple Mount.
No.
We will be in the Temple Mount.
How's that work?
People say to me, no, but we will be in the Temple Mount.
Go up on the Temple Mount?
We will be right at Al-Aqsa.
Really?
Yes.
Al-Aqsa is the mosque. Let's just tell everybody that story.
Don't scare people away.
I'm saying this is cool. This is very cool.
So let me explain this.
If they come with us, they're not going to be afraid.
Temple Mount, which is Mount Moriah of the Bible,
Right.
is all in Israel's hands. Israel made an agreement with the Waqf, which is the Muslim controller of the mosque,
Right.
to have not control, but to have management of the top of the mountain. That's their entire hold of the mountain. The police and the army that you see on top of the mountains are all Israelis. So we are in Israel proper, and from time to time, because of some grievances and some misunderstandings, the Muslims are become vocal, and Israel say, okay, we're not going to go in today, not Israel, but not tourists. So if that happens, obviously we're not going to go. But it didn't happen yet. Every time I promise people that we'll go to the Temple Mount,
I want to go.
We go to the Temple Mount.
Yeah.
And if on that particular day we can't, then we just postpone it to the next morning.
Okay. Good.
And we
That's
always
good.
cover the Temple Mount. And once you see the Temple Mount, you understand the topography of Jerusalem in a way that you can't understand it in any other way. From there, we will walk into the Temple Mount from the southern part of the wall. And after we finish the visit, of the Temple Mount, we will end up in Via della Rosa, which is the way of the cross or the way of the agony.
Via della Rosa. Yes.
There you go.
I had a friend who sang at the Palm Beach Opera, and she would sing that in church. Via della Rosa. Tears would come down my eyes. But yeah, we did that. We rushed it on our trip there last February. I think it was raining. It was raining pretty hard, and we just rushed through. We really, I mean, I think it was Friday. The mosque had just let out.
Well, we're not going to rush it. We're going to take our time
That would
and
be good.
explain every part of the
That would be cool.
the old city of Jerusalem, and especially from the point of view of Jewish holding in the
So this
city of
trip
Jerusalem.
really is thoroughly Jewish and quite a bit Christian.
I would say it's 50-50.
Yeah.
And in a minute, I'll explain something that would make more sense to really explain why this is all about. Okay. So we finished the Via Dolorosa. We end up at the Holy Sepulchre and then to the Garden Tomb and so on and so forth. And we are going to then circle Jerusalem in such a way that we'll see what we saw walking from above. So almost like from a bird's view eye, we are going to see Jerusalem and explain what we just did. It is an amazing experience.
Well, the Mount of Olives, or
Mount of Olives will be the place where we're going to go.
That is an amazing view.
And then we will walk down, actually, the Mount of Olives and end up in the Garden of Gethsemane. So Christians who come with us have an experience that is hard to explain in words, because this is the place where Jesus was arrested before the crucifixion. And we'll end up the evening again in the hotel. We have dinner and we have the panel discussion. The next morning, we are going to now see the other part of Jerusalem, which is the Jewish part of Jerusalem, the sector in the old city
Jewish
that is
quarter.
Jewish, the
Okay.
Jewish quarter, and
The
all
Jewish
the
quarter of Jerusalem.
Yeah,
I can't even
right.
wrap my brain around
and
it.
building and all the I call it settlements because I got used to it, and the entire city of Jerusalem that was built after the 6 Days War, surrounding Jerusalem with new neighborhoods and understand some of the problems and some of the issues that today Palestinians are claiming to have. Now,
that will be very, very revealing. We didn't do
very
that.
revealing and very interesting. We will also go to the outskirts of Jerusalem, to the side of Bethlehem, and see the security wall that was built. Now, let me tell you in a word what the security wall is. Just before the security wall was built, there was something called the Intifada that started in the year 2000 when Prime Minister Ariel Sharon went to visit the Temple Mount. He brought the wrath of the Palestinians, and that was the second Intifada, and all the traumatic experiences and all the terror attacks in Jerusalem took place. Israel got smart, and they said, look, we're not going to make peace talking to each other as friends, so we're going to isolate ourselves. What in Berlin they did to bring people together, we now erected in Jerusalem and around the West Bank to make sure that Palestinians don't have the freedom to come to Israel and explode
And kill everybody, right?
and kill everybody. So we erected the wall. It's called the security wall. There are no more terrorist attacks in Israel, period. So from everyday occurrences, we don't hear about those type of things anymore. So it reduced it to nothing. So if anybody has a problem with it, talk to me or talk to anybody who lives in Israel, because this is a security issue. And once this wall was built, Israel is safe. So we on this tour are going to travel along some of the security wall and understand what it did.
And Mark, you had an observation of that wall when you were there.
Right, the security wall, it actually did decrease the violence all throughout Israel. I mean, the whole point of them putting up the wall was to reduce the violence. And talking with Mark Kahlberg, that was definitely the truth. And when I first went over there, it was definitely I felt a lot of apprehension actually going over there. And yet, when I got there, I realized how safe it was inside because they've reduced the terror attacks so much. That's the reason when you go down to the south, they want to launch rockets because they can't get across the wall anymore. And plus, the security wall, is in essence a sniper wall. The actual fence for the demarcation line is way far away, so it's actually very secure considering. And the people just, am I correct? Ron?
You're absolutely correct, and you had that observation by being there, and I would like to bring everybody there to see what this is all about, because it is a point of contention in many places in the world, and people need to really
Need to see
experience
it, absolutely
They
need
need
to
to
see
see
it.
it. So, but here comes a very interesting evening, because that's going to be Friday night. And Friday night in Jerusalem is like no other night anywhere in the world, because you feel the Sabbath. You feel the Sabbath. In the Sabbath in Israel, everything is closed. Even public transportation is not working. People are really resting. And Jerusalem, unlike any other place in the world, and even in Israel, feels different when the Shabbat comes, the Sabbath comes. You see all the people running throughout the day, rushing to finish what they do, shopping or doing this, that, and the other, flowers, everybody. It's the Sabbath is a sanctified day, not only in the homes, but in Jerusalem as a whole.
Wow.
Now that night, we're going to take the group. I will take the groups with me to the Western Wall,
Oh, wow.
to the Temple Mount. And in the Western Wall, what you're seeing on Friday night, every Friday night, is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, of which I would say, with no exaggeration, 90% of them are youth, coming in song and dance. And they're receiving the Shabbat, the Sabbath, in song and dance and
In that big plaza, right where the wall
right.
is.
And you see a wall of people, all dancing and singing and praising, and
Wow.
and among them you see many that don't look Jewish, because they're like us, would be tourists,
Yeah.
but they will be taken in by the Jewish people, and it's going to
Get
be
off the streets.
an amazing,
That's going to be cool. Yeah.
an amazing feeling to now really truly have an interfaith program without really calling it interfaith program, because Jew, Gentile, black, white, red, yellow, all children of God are there for one reason, and it is to feel the presence of the Lord. And you see on the Friday night something unusual happens, where all these people come together, and I'm an Orthodox Jew.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that when I'm there and I see all my brethren Gentiles come, I feel that we are one, truly one. And if we go to Acts chapter 2, I think it was, and in that day they came in one place in one accord. Really, this is truly a place where you can see everybody come together, and there's no difference where you're from, what you believe, what you come with. It's all being laid down to the
something
foot
happens.
of God.
Something supernatural happens.
There's no question in my mind. And from there we will
Pretty
go
neat.
back
How
to
do
the
you?
hotel.
Will it impact the Unitarian?
It will impact everybody who comes there, because you cannot escape it. It is
You're
something.
done for, Mark. If you go through
I'm
that,
done.
you're done
I'm
for.
done.
It is something that you cannot describe. It is something that you have to experience. This is not a tour. This is an experience to begin with. What we're doing here is not a tour. It's an experience. But this Sabbath, this Friday night on the Kotel, as we call it, on the, in the
Kotel,
wall,
yeah, the Kotel.
is an incredible experience. And when we finish there, and everybody is on a high. I haven't seen anybody yet coming with sour face, you know. We all come back to the hotel. The buses will wait for us outside the wall of the city of Jerusalem. We have a short walk, maybe 200 yards. We go back to the buses and we go to the hotel. Now, in the hotel, what we will do with our group, is get together for a Shabbat meal, a traditional Sabbath meal, with the blessing over the candles, with the blessing over the bread, with the blessing over the wine. Everything together, everything will come together in a tremendous way. So what you asked me...
Wait, hang on.
You don't have to cut it off. We're just gonna leave it at 10 till instead of 5.
Yeah.
That's all. So we're fine. No, we're just gonna
Okay.
cut off a few minutes early.
We got to stop a few minutes early.
I hope that we were still on.
Oh yeah, we're on. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm making
So-
sure he didn't cut you off.
So now we're back in the hotel,
Right.
and we have a Shabbat meal with all the blessings, with all the trimmings, with everything that people, Jewish people, usually do on the Shabbat, do on the Sabbath, and we will now have an experience of the Jewish way of the Sabbath. So remember, we were in Galilee. We covered the
Oh, the
ministry
Christian
of
stuff.
Jesus
Yeah, yeah,
Christ
yeah, yeah,
and the ministry in that area, which is predominantly Christian. We touch a lot of Jewish stuff in Galilee as well. But now in Jerusalem, we're going from Via Dolorosa, the way of the cross, into now the hardcore of Judaism and really understand how do
That's very
we
cool.
come together
That's very cool.
in a way that there's no...
It's very cool because see if you can find a picture of the Western Wall and that whole plaza. It's not that big.
Are women allowed to go to this, or how's that working?
Yes, women are there too.
Yeah. Okay.
That area
Just
is not
separated though.
Separated.
The wall is the wall of the temple. Obviously, it's a big wall, and people are up there. The men and women are separated.
You can bring 70 to...
Oh, there it is. Look.
You can bring
on the,
70 to 90. That's right. Well, that's the entire old city.
Right, the old city, but the wall is right there, and if you're looking on TrentoVision.tv, it's not that big of a plaza, so I could imagine.
Well, it's pretty big because in high holidays such as the Feast of Tabernacles and Passover and Shavuot, which is Feast of Weeks, they estimated 80,000 people there. So it's quite large.
In that area?
In that area.
No way.
Now
Listen,
Tom, you've been there in winter and it was raining and you didn't get a feel for it. There are some 80,000 people there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's like a football game.
it is. And we get a feeling second to none. When we are there, the experience is just beyond explanations. We come back to the hotel, we have the Shabbat dinner, and the next morning we're going to experience another fascinating trip, and this one will be to the Dead Sea area, which I believe is the place where...
That's very cool.
Right, where Jesus was roaming for 40 days and nights.
Oh, you think down there?
Tempted, I'm sure it's there. And that was the place of the Essenes. The Essenes left us with the... Dead Sea Scrolls,
Right.
And I would like it on that particular day to talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls and explain what this was all about.
How far was Qumran? How far was...
This is in Qumran. We're going to go to Qumran.
Could we get close to where
we will be in Qumran where the actual caves are.
Can you see them?
You can see the
I
caves.
would love to
Right.
see that.
So we will be there and we will talk about it, and I will explain, and some of my friends that will be with us, learned people, will explain what this sect was all about,
Essenes.
why the Essenes, and I believe John the Baptist was among them, and I think Jesus almost became among them, but he was crucified before. And explain what is really the finding and what do we learn from the Dead Sea Scrolls. And from there
it's like a big history lesson too.
Absolutely. This is a lesson in history that usually will take you a year to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
here we're doing it in 10 days. That's the idea. And from there we go to Masada, which is another interesting place. I have a personal story to share with the people when you come
Got
there.
about 2 minutes or so.
And we will do it when we are there, and it's a part to do with my army service. And then we float on the Dead Sea and have another experience.
Mark did that.
And then back to...
Yeah, I could walk on water then.
And
walk on salty water.
Then back to Jerusalem. On the last day in Jerusalem, and we're skipping a few things here, on the last day in Jerusalem, we are going to also visit Yad Vashem, which is the place, the memorial center for the 6 million Jews that got destroyed during World War II. And we'll have a session also connecting and tell why Israel became as powerful because of 2 words: never again.
Yeah.
Never again would we submit ourselves to the slaughter of a whole group of people the way Hitler was able to do. So Israel today is among the big boys. We have muscles, and we are there to stay.
Amen.
Never again. That last day of the trip will be Yad Vashem and talking about this issue.
Well, Ronnie, this sounds like an amazing trip. I wish it was next week. It's 9 months away. That's the bad news. The good news is you got time if you want to come with myself, Ronnie, Frank Gaffney, Bill Federer, William Murray, to see Dor Gold and Yanni.
Amos Yadlin and Danny Ayalon and
No, but Bogey's going to be speaking.
Well, that's
Bogey Yalon, right?
That's Moshe Yalon is Bogey.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
And Mordechai Kedar and
This is cool.
and more.
All for $3. All for $3. That's all it is. $2,700. Tom at TrentoVision.tv. If you're interested, let me know. And we're going to get going here. We're going to have you back because we kind of rushed the end. Yeah. We didn't talk about Masada. We were up in Masada. That's an amazing place. We want to hear your story about that. Maybe next week. Okay. We'll do that. When are you going back to Israel for just to visit?
A couple of weeks. But I will let you know. I'll give you my schedule.
Okay. Excellent.
I bet he flies in business class.
Quick. He's got a zillion miles. He flies with the pilot. They let him fly in the plane. Quick question or anything for Ronnie? Anybody?
Yeah, I'm just excited.
Real fast.
Yeah, we're going with Roger Federer and Bill Murray. I loved him in Caddyshack. I thought that was really cool. You know, there's gonna be all that.
Okay. Anything, CJ?
Yeah, I think this trip is a super bargain for going. It costs a lot less than any other tour that I've looked at that I would have considered going to. And what you get for it is absolutely unbelievable. It's absolutely amazing. Whether you're interested as a Christian, as a Jewish person, or if you're
as
just
a pagan,
or as a pagan, or if you're just interested in national security issues and you want to see the places where it happens and hear the experts, this is the trip to go on.
Sounds good, and they get to go with us.
And we get to
go.
go.
How about that?
Yeah,
you know,
how swell.
And no, this is going to be very good, and we're going to have to get going right now. So, Tom Trento signing off from TrentoVision.tv. That's the video side. And WNN 1470. Be sure, everybody, to get iHeartRadio because that's a great way to listen to us 3 hours a day. All this stuff we bring to you at no cost. Can you imagine that? We will see you in Tel Aviv.